Hello, you are listening to the award-winning To Hull and Back podcast, proudly sponsored by Old Zoological Bar. I am your host, Nathaniel, and tonight I'm joined by the whole guest list, Will, Joe, and Christian, to discuss a 2-2 draw away at Swansea, a creditable draw, I think, because Swansea have been in good form, and another late goal for the Tigers, so a nice way to come back after the international break. How are we all after? It feels like it's been a long time, strangely.
Yeah, good. I'd taken a point going into yesterday, and that's what we got.
Yeah. So, Joe, you're good. Will, are you good as well?
I'm exceedingly average.
Exceedingly average. Christian?
Yeah, standard.
And
yeah, it's getting a bit cold now, isn't it? That all fair weather's creeping, but I'm good.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week.
Bye, all.
Well, we were saying before the episode, we've actually got a fair bit to get to. The transfer window is closed on the docket, exactly, but and we will get to it. But just a teaser that we have a few pieces of transfer news still to talk about, which is exciting. But I thought, well, the main thing I think we'll talk about the experience before the match started. So Coyle was starting. I would have started Coyle because I think Drame defensively has been poor the last few games. So, Ant, I'll go to you first. What was your reaction to the lineup?
Yeah, I think it was interesting that Coyle was thrown straight in. I think obviously the chance of the international break to get him back in full-time training, and that's obviously seen that he's up to the standard now to get straight in. And like you say, yeah, Drame. I think Drame gives us a lot going forwards. But yeah, against Bristol, like I said, winning those headers at the far post, I think 2 of the goals resulted in him obviously not dealing with it defensively, and we're leaking goals for fun. So I think when you look back at hindsight, if you don't change your back four after you're conceding so many goals, I think people then start to ask questions early. So he had to be seen to do something. And I think we're all probably quite interested to see what Coyle can do under this manager, because I think we can all agree he had probably a poor season last season by his own standards, as most people did, to be fair, in our team. But to see what he can do in this system, that encourages him to get a bit higher, to stick the ball in the box a bit more. If we can get the Coyle form of a couple of years ago, he could be a very big asset to the team. So it was always worth going. I thought he had a really good game, to be fair. I thought he didn't put a foot wrong, in all honesty, when you look back at the game. Like you say, he's always usually been reliable defensively, last season excluded. So let's just hope that last season was an anomaly and this is the normal call that we're getting going forwards.
Mm-hmm. Christian, of course, you've been talking a lot about Ryan Giles this season. He got an assist yesterday, but is it the sort of similar case with Drame that he came into the team, he had a good pre-season, but what do you make of Coyle coming straight in? I mean, he is the captain, but does that mean he has to play?
I mean, it doesn't mean he has to play, being the captain. I do agree with, and I can't say I was shocked, but obviously coming straight in and starting, I wasn't kind of expecting that one. But it's understandable, as we've all just said, with respect to how he dealt with everything at Bristol, with respect to the headers at the back stick. And I think that's the key thing that Ant brought up there, was the kind of the attacking threat which Drame does bring going forward. And that kind of is generally like that extra man that kind of can run to the byline and create something like that cut through pass, which Coyle is more of the crosser situation. But against a good team like Swansea, I can't really criticise anything with respect to either one or the other kind of starting the game, because Coyle is a bit more solid defensively, and we haven't had a great results in the past at Swansea. And I think moving forward, games like that, you do need Coyle on the pitch. So I'm kind of looking forward to that already, with how a bit more solidifying we're going to be. I just hope Sergei kind of utilises both of them on a game-to-game basis, understanding where he can play Drame and when he can play Drame, and vice versa for Coyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's fairly sensible to swap him out, especially as you've said there, you concede 4 goals, and when you don't swap him out, then that looks a bit odd. But it's part of the issue, Joe, that Coyle had a poor last year, but he didn't, Sayers, who of course has been sacked by Sheffield United in record time, he didn't swap him out for Jame at times when Coyle was playing poorly.
The first thing I do want to say is that people love to hate Louis Coyle just because he's Louis Coyle. And I saw one assertion on Twitter yesterday that people shouldn't criticise another player because he made a mistake. And if you do, you know absolutely nothing about football. But this is another person. This is the same person who I saw making this tweet, who is the quickest to jump on players' backs if they're not a fan favourite. As an example, Louis Coyle. And, you know, the service Louis Coyle gives the club, gives the city, gives the area. He absolutely should be a fan favourite. So I don't know where any of that comes from. But I wasn't surprised Louis started, and I wasn't against it at all. No Brandon Williams in the squad. That'll be for a reason as well, obviously to do with fitness, I'd assume. I've not listened to any post-match stuff yet, but I assume that's the case.
I didn't even notice.
Because at the 21s game, he either looked disinterested or knackered.
He did get a knock, didn't he?
For me, it was the first one because I think I just got the sense from him that he'd rather be anywhere but playing for Hull City's under 21s on a Tuesday night during the international break. But equally, he's not played a game of football for however long. So it's no surprise really that he's not match sharp. And he got 60 minutes, to be fair to the lad. Was it 60 minutes? No, he got 45, sorry. Coyle and Bellumi got 60. That's another thing we'll get to, Bellumi, because I think he's not too far off a start, and I think that will come in the next few weeks. But another lineup, moving on, other lineup bits, you had Hadji Ahmetovic, who I thought, again, I wasn't surprised he came in, and he did a very, very good job. He looked quite sharp, switched on, does the hard yards, but he's also got that sort of, not flair, but he's got something about him where you know he can ping a ball or something like that, like his ball for Giles, as an example. That was superb before the goal. And then Joseph coming in. I read that, to be honest, as a 4-4-2 with Akintola left and Gelhardt right, but it could have been a 4-3-3 as well, and that's what it was with Joseph wide. I thought that was the strangest bit, but defensively, to bring it back around, yeah, he had to change something after Ashton Gate, what happened there, and Blackburn, and bringing in Coyle and bringing in Hadji Ahmetovic, I think did make us better in our own half. But it's just a shame that they had 2 shots on target and scored them both.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of 4 Louis Coyle related questions. So, Louis Coyle?
It was nice to see him back. Obviously, he's been injured since. We've not seen him in a competitive game.
Istanbul scoring pre-season.
Yeah, we've not seen him in a competitive game, so it was nice to see him finally get an opportunity. And obviously, with the way the defence has been a bit iffy in recent games, I suppose a change was needed at some point anyway, just to freshen it up a little bit. And I thought he did well. I thought the defence, for the most part, did okay. There was a couple of slip-ups, obviously both goals. First goal, you can argue, was a bit of individual brilliance, possibly good quick turn, good finish. Second goal, though, defensively, very poor, to be fair. But at the same time, they were the only 2 real chances that Swansea created. I think for the most part, City dealt with the Swansea attack better than I expected them to. I think for the most part, the first half, City played a bit off, but I think the first half was quite a poor half from both sides, really, when it came down to it. There wasn't a lot that actually happened in the first half for the most part. Outside of the 2 goals, like outside of those 2 moments, which were very quick, one after another, not much happened. But the second half, what City were by far the better side, probably could have actually won it with some of the chances that they had. Vigouroux made some really good saves. Their stand probably should have done better with his header that he had. The one that Joffrey had, he should have scored that. That was a ridiculous save. But we got what we deserved by the end of the game because we kept fighting and we kept going at it. And it was another game. It seems to have become a common occurrence this season where we're not going to have a single game where there isn't a last-minute goal.
Yeah. Either, from either team and whether we're going to lose or not.
even if it's consolation like Joseph the other week, there's still at least one goal in them. So that suggests to me that they're still willing to fight for the full 90 minutes every game for the most part. So I'm glad that we have that fight in us, considering like in recent times, whenever we went a goal down, sometimes the team looked like they were a bit not really in it anymore, especially under Walter.
Well, when they went a goal up as well. Under Sayers.
Well, on Ruben, he's won more games at Bramall Lane as Hull City manager than he has as Sheffield United manager.
Yes. Shall we just touch on that for now? Because we've got a few comments. Sarah Cloud is Sayers the new Rooney. It's a bit harsh. But, I mean, again, I don't think he should have been sacked by us. I guess the Hull City related question is, does him going and not winning any games at Sheffield United, playing with, a whole different, at a different club, different environment, different players, mean that it would have gone badly here when it didn't really go badly here when he was with the players at our club? I don't really think it's the same.
The last 8 games he had with us were really bad. They were.
Yes.
But also the running before that international break was really good. So you can't discount that run of form just because of the last bit of form. Like we came away with wins at Bramall Lane and at Stadium of Light and things like that. And I think we only lost twice in the build up to that international break. So something changed at the international break. What that was, we'll not know. But yeah, we were garbage for the last 8 games of the season. And like you say, but what he'd done beforehand probably justified him another crack at least. But I don't think he can really look back at this and go with hindsight, yeah, we were right to get rid of him, because he's gone to a club that he never should have gone to. I mean, you're not going to say no to a job like that. Of course you're not. But you're taking over from Wilder, who was a fan favourite, and they didn't want to.
And Wilder's taking over from you.
Yeah. So then already the fans didn't want him, so he's on to a loser. They've got rid of so many of their best players. I mean, like he's literally been sold a dream over there and then been chucked.
Yeah.
So like the players that he had at his disposal, I mean, it's still a good team. Don't get me wrong; he should be getting more out of them. But they're all them players are currently learning how to play without those crucial players like Vinny Souza, who's a monster in midfield. He's gone. So like, you're looking at that team and thinking it's similar to us in the Rosinia season and losing all those key players and then expecting all these new lads in the team to sort of just instantly take to it, and it's never going to happen, especially not under a new manager and in toxic atmosphere. So I think he was always onto a loser anyway. I'm quite surprised it's gone as bad as it has. I thought he'd maybe have 2 wins or so, something like that, and he'd be gone by Christmas.
Get to our match.
He's gone 6 games into crazy.
What surprised me is when he was here, he had I think in the time he was here, I think the stat was that we had the 4th best defence in the league over his tenure here.
Yeah.
I am very surprised that Sheffield United were at least somewhat decent defensively, despite the results, because they were conceding goals for fun. And that was a real shock, considering how, even though for us, maybe we weren't great going forward, but at the back we were relatively solid.
Clearly, Coyle is just that good.
But Ruben was in a situation, though, where he has no striker. Again, like Tom Cannon, from when he signed for Sheffield United last year, was absolutely crap. And you're bringing in Louis Barry
Stansfield,
who's technically not played in the division before. Say again.
Worse than Stansfield, don't you hate him? You think Stansfield's awful? I mean, I know they don't have him, but I'll carry on.
Yeah, I'm going to carry on with my point there, Nathaniel. So he's been dealt a hand where he's got nothing going forward. There's Louis Barry, who he signed, who's never been in the division before, minus 4 games with us before he got injured last year. You've got Harmer, who looked like he was going to leave all transfer window. Like Ant said, you've lost Vinny Souza. You've lost Anel Ahmed Hodzik at the back. Jack Robinson at the back, who's not the greatest player, but he's a leader. And another experienced player who's, again, wasn't brilliant for them, but Kiefer Moore. He was promised that when these experienced heads were sold, that he would immediately have replacements in for them, and he just didn't have it.
They had Raksaki on loan as well, didn't they? And Andre Brooks there was nowhere near as good.
What concerns me is that I wanted Sailors to still be there when we played them.
I know.
No, because he'd have lost every single game up to us, and then he'd have beat us, and you know exactly that's what would have happened.
But yeah, to be fair, saying that, when we played them last season under Wilder, we did beat them 3-0. So
chance to do it again.
I think Ruben's still a good manager. I think the job he did here in keeping us up was good. It was never a let's go and push for the playoffs now, like Adjan, as it appears, thought it was. He did what he needed to do. He kept us up. We had a good defensive record. We conceded twice in a game for the last time in February, and then either kept a clean sheet or only conceded one for the whole season after that. But I think he just went in above his head. But as Ant said again, who's going to turn down that kind of job? And you're coming into Sheffield United, who are transitioning from one era to another, where the whole model is changing in terms of what's happened what goes on upstairs. You've come in as a head coach, not a manager. There's data, there's AI, there's all these new things that they're trying to implement, and it just didn't work for him. And I still think they're a club on the decline, and I don't think Chris Wilder will be able to get a lot out of that group still, given that there'll be disappointment from last year and that they didn't go up. But he'll be able to get more out of them than Ruben has, purely because he's Chris Wilder and he managed most of that group last year.
It's a joke that they've gone back to Chris Wilder, by the way. Like, what is it, 38 days or something? I'd have told him no. I'd have said no. You got rid of me. You can live with it. I know he's not going to because he's a Sheffield United fan and he loves the club. But
it's very
three times.
Peterborough, isn't it?
Yeah, I just like. So what? Are they abandoning the new AI database thing that they're going with and bringing him back in, and they just bin that after a month? I don't get what's going on. Unless he's agreed to do it, it's weird.
It just shows that they've made a mistake.
I think we need to talk about a team that's higher in the table, and that's Hull City.
Yes.
Well, I just thought of a better segue and a better striker sort of comment than I made just before. Speaking, Joe, you said Sheffield United haven't got any strikers. Speaking of strikers that have played for Sheffield United, Ollie McBurney scored.
Again.
It's what he does.
He's a good player.
Right place, right time. Good ball by Gilo. Chris, over to you.
I can't believe you brought that one over to me. It's typical timing. I do apologise. I was actually on the blower there, having to reply.
I'm a Ryan Giles correspondent.
Yeah.
That was Gilo on the phone, Chris's new agent.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, it was a 9-year-old. It still is the 9-year-old. With respect to, sorry, were we speaking about Giles there? My brain's gone now. My brain's just totally gone now.
If Ryan Giles' agent is 9 years old, no wonder he couldn't get a move away this summer.
I'm assuming we're talking about Giles and yesterday and
Bernie's link up. Yeah,
it's. Do you know what? I want to speak just a bit before that, and it's the name that I still can't pronounce. Hadžiemetović. Hadžiemetović. There you go. I want to start with him on with respect to how he started the game. Obviously being his first start as well, it was kind of slow and steady. I'm not saying he looked out of place. You could kind of see he was just trying to find his feet, but he grew into the game really well. And it was that kind of switch cross that he did straight away to Giles in that open space. And it was one of the first times Giles actually had that amount of space on that side to actually be able to make that run going forward as well. So that kind of awareness to make that pass and Giles to be in that type of space was kind of the turning point for me of the game in total. But he's crossing at the moment. I mean, I know everyone knows this, that I've been overly critical of Ryan Giles in the past, and I'm eating my words always week in, week out at the moment, which is fine. I'm more than happy to, because his deliveries are just wow at the moment. I mean, to get that ball and McBurney sliding in to get that in, it's a goal that we haven't seen in how long? I don't think I've seen us score a goal typically like that style in a very long time.
We don't score that goal last season.
We don't score that goal last season. Exactly. Exactly. So to say Ryan Giles is on his still redemption arc, yeah, he is in the attacking sense. I still think defensively he's still lacking a little bit. And I think I don't want to say with respect to the second goal that we conceded, because it wasn't just him. It was actually more Joseph as well, who's further back just after Ryan Giles had a bit of an attacking session. So the cover was Joseph at that point, but you would have still expected Giles to come deep. And as Cox has just put there, saying you didn't see Joseph scoring that goal. I agree, and I just don't see Joseph doing kind of much at the moment with respect to anything on that side. It was a really questionable situation. I think we had a bit of a chat saying, well, maybe it's to help cover with cover with Giles and coming back. But yeah, all right, he might have run back, but did he really do anything as much? He may have allowed Giles a bit more freedom to go forward. I agree, it might, but only slightly, because I still feel at the end of the day that Joseph was that much of a bit of a liability on the left-hand side still, that it still didn't allow Giles the freedom to go up front as much as he wanted to. So, yeah, Giles overall, he had a good game. He had a great game, and probably one of the few that even the first half could still hold his head up high, knowing that he was having that type of game. So, yeah, what else can I say? It was a good game for Giles. It was a great cross. And he swung him in. God knows how many he crossed in, because he was the major threat on that side, and it was highlighted that he was that major threat on that side.
Oh, don't launch in at once.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about the fullbacks. I think there's we can focus on the whole defence. So, and we didn't have you on for the last few episodes. Of course, the transfer window's closed. The main thing we were, worried about. Of course, we had Jarby coming in as well, and Hajimtovic was a done deal. But whether Hughes was going to leave, so we can focus on one of the centre backs. Firstly, I suppose we're very happy that he's stayed. But do you think that with the performances, especially against Bristol, and maybe a bit of mistake for the second Swansea goal, that his head's been turned a little bit? Has he been a bit sort of discomforted by the rumours?
No, I don't think it's that at all. I think if he wanted to go, he'd be gone. So if his head was turned, he wouldn't have stayed here beyond deadline day. I just think it's just purely players go through peaks and troughs of form. That's all it is. And it's not like he's playing badly. He's just done in 2 games in a row one mistake that's led to a goal. And the problem is, like similar with goalkeepers, you're in a position of the pitch where if you do one mistake, it's probably going to end up in a goal because of the position that you're in and the proximity to your own goal. And I think that we all forget he's still a young lad. He's still young, he's still learning, he's still getting there. He'll only get better with Egan alongside him as well. And I think that it's hard bit at the minute because the team, I think, just looks a bit unbalanced. I think he's not getting enough. The back four, this is as well, not just Hughesy. I think the whole back four are struggling to withstand the periods of pressure because the midfield seems a little bit unbalanced. And as well as Amir played, I don't know if him and Lundstrom can play together. I think they're very similar. They want to sit deep and try and pull the strings. Yeah.
I didn't think Lundstrom had a great game, to be quite honest.
No, I don't think Lundstrom's been great for the last few games.
That's the 3rd game in a row, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Lundstrom's looked poor since Crooks has been injured. Crooks is the perfect partner for him. I think he complements everything we do in the midfield. We desperately need him back. Obviously, he's a big physical presence. He gets stuck in. He tracks back. He sometimes switches roles with Lundstrom and sits in the thing and lets him push on. I think the only thing we're going to have to do going forward if Crooks isn't playing is whoever's playing 10, if that's Joffrey or Palmer or anybody, they're going to have to drop in and help because we're sort of leaving them up the pitch a bit too much. And I think the midfield's staying a bit unbalanced because of that. And then the back four are then trying to overcompensate, especially when you've got Giles practically playing left wing. So, yeah, it's there's a lot of things at the minute. The team's we're still finding our best 11. Those partnerships and understanding are still forming, and we've still got a couple of players to come back from injury. So I think it's just hopefully these leaky goal games that we've got at the minute will be solved when everyone's a bit more settled and we've got everyone back.
I'm just, getting deja vu. I mean, 2 years ago we had Delap and Carly injured at the same time, so we didn't have any strikers at a key point of the season. Last year, Miller and Balumi got injured, and then Barry, so, we can't score, and now we can't defend because of Crooks and Ajayi. I guess we're only as good as, the players we've got that aren't injured because we've always got these injuries. They are going to be back relatively soon. But, they've got to find, and they do have a few midfielders who are fit now, and they signed 2 on deadline day. So maybe Jarby and someone. But yeah, you're right. Lundstrom, I thought he'd be kind of more reliable, but he's not looked amazing. So, of course, I've not seen him play for a little while because we've had away games, but it'll be interesting to see if, I think maybe Jarby could come in, possibly for Southampton.
Do you know who isn't injured? and it's quite nice to see. Mohamed Baloumi.
Yeah.
Another good cameo from him, I thought. And after what I saw in the under-21s game during the international break, where he was by far the best player on the pitch and really shouldn't have even been playing, he was too good to be in an under-21 game.
Yeah.
It only helps feel better about it. I know they're only playing under-21s before you say it, Joe, but he still was so much better than everyone else on the pitch.
Yeah, he should have been.
Yeah. Highest paid there as well.
Yeah, I'd say by quite some distance as well, because I can't imagine Brandon Williams now, as we've taken a leap of faith into him, be on as much as Mo.
Well, I'd like to think it's not his Manchester United.
On the non-injury front, Miller's back as well. Back in training. Training.
Yeah.
So,
if Miller and Baloumi play the last few minutes against Southampton, it's going to be like the good old days of 5 games last year.
I don't know if it's too early for Miller, but he's obviously going to be back soon.
Well, Baloumi might start against Southampton.
He might.
Sergei said about Miller, first of all, that I asked him the question if he was going to play 21s football on Tuesday, because the 21s are at home to Charlton at Bishop Burton, 1:00, unfortunately. So Sergei said, I'm not sure. This is pre-match. This is on Thursday. Not sure. We've not decided yet. I've got concerns about the pitch there. It's not very good. So we'll see. We'll make the decision. And to be fair to him, the pitch at Bishop Burton it's like a rock at the minute. It's got no moisture in it at all.
Well, he's not going to play Baloumi at Derby then.
Can I just brief up on the under-21s? I do not understand why all the under-21 games are either at Bishop Burton, pretty much all at Bishop Burton or at DMK, but they're all 1 p.m. kickoffs midweek. Like, almost all of them are 1 p.m. kickoffs. In what way are you enticing fans to go to games when they're all at the worst possible kickoff times?
Is that because they're kids?
So it's because...
No, because they play 7 p.m. kickoffs as well, Nathaniel. There's a few. There's not many, but there's a couple.
Every game used to be a 7 p.m. kickoff here, but the players prefer a day kickoff to a night kickoff. And I get that. But
that's fair, but in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
They sometimes do them after the 3:00 game, don't they?
Sometimes. That'll be once a season they'll do that. Maybe.
Yeah, that's a rare one, that.
They didn't do it last year for either the 18s or the 21s. Before last year, they'd done it once for each team in a season at the stadium. But
they do play a couple of games the same day as the senior team this week coming up, but obviously they're playing 1:00 kickoffs.
Yeah,
main team play 7:45 kickoffs.
The 18s they play every Saturday, but they're at Bishop Burton at 11. The first team could kick off at home at 12:30 or 3:00, and then on a Tuesday there'll be 1:00 kickoffs for the 21s, and then a 7:45 kickoff for the first team. So unless you've got nothing else going on, and you're off work or something like that, that is the only way you can do one or both. Which is a shame, but I'd rather them be playing at Bishop Burton than at York, because at least that's sort of accessible if you've got nothing else going on in your day.
I still think Ferriby's the best spot for them locally, but obviously there's Ferriby there, there's the Hull City ladies there. There's a lot of good stuff going on there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've talked about the other 3 defenders, but of course the goal scorer in the 97th minute, the first goal for the club, John Egan. It was Robin Weston on Twitter who pointed out to me that, of course, Egan had I say harsh, it wasn't harsh, incorrect penalty given against him for handball in the match on Good Friday last year. And of course, he got the equaliser yesterday. So that's a nice bit of, karma, I guess. And
poetic justice.
Exactly. And it was a nice finish, but I'd say it was a fluke. He's just swung-legged it, and it's he's fortunate. It's arced into the corner. It can go
off someone's arse. I couldn't give a damn.
Well, in the 97th minute, absolutely. So,
but in that goal,
it all comes from Regan Slater. Absolutely,
exactly.
The ball.
Exactly what I was going to say. Slater does the hard work there, and Slater had a really good cameo when he came on. I thought all of the subs worked.
Destan as well. Really, really impressed with Destan. I think he looks.
He's gonna smash it.
I hope that continues, and I hope he proves me wrong. But I'm gonna tread carefully around Dennis Destan.
I liked how stuck in he got in the celebrations. It was like he's been here for 3 years. He proper loved it, didn't he? I love that about him.
Well, I mean, I've got stakes put on him with him being our top scorer in our preview episode, so I've got to back the man to the hill. And
put that header, Will.
That is.
Will's just muted himself. Put that header either side of the keeper, and it goes in.
Yeah.
Will, you muted again?
I think the thing is with Destan, he looks quite clearly as though he's really, really good in the air, and he loves getting stuck in for it. So especially like when you're chasing a goal towards the end of the game, and you've got McBurney and Destan up top together, and you're just whipping it in. Like you've got options there just to try and recover a game or win a game, and I like that, and I like that he was finding good positions. Like we say about Regan Slater's involvement in that equaliser. Destan peeling off at the far post for that cross to head it down for Slater to run to was a large part of that. And I think that's the kind of player. He's a different kind of player to McBurney, and that's exactly what you want in a championship team, because you've got to have a bit of variation up front. Because if it's like for like, you're just going to keep struggling, aren't you? So him and Joseph are completely different to McBurney, and all offer something completely different in terms of their skill set and their technical ability and things like that. But his ability to sort of get into the box, and I know we're saying this off a short cameo, but from what we saw, if that continues, especially if he's making cameos off the bench, he's going to be vital to us and could win us some points.
He caused chaos, guy. That's what it is. He just caused a bit of chaos in the box.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but he's not going to be top scorer, Will. I'm the only one who's got that right. I'm the only one who's got that right.
Will. It's early days. It's early days, Nathaniel. It's definitely early days. He didn't for a little kind of quick cameo, first time appearance. He put himself in a good stead. Let's put it that way. He put himself in good light in front of everybody. His first touch was a header at goal and almost going in. I mean, he already looked without. I don't want to say Joseph's my new Ryan Giles this season, but no. But what I'm trying to put across is, with respect to Destan, he already looked more of an attacking threat than Joseph has already in that very, very short space of time. He already did a lot more, in my opinion, to come across as that.
It's not difficult.
Well, that's my point.
Sorry, Kyle, if you're listening. I'm so sorry.
Man scored in our last game. This is a bit harsh.
I know, but
shall we
still at the same time.
We talk about the goal scorer? Because we mentioned John Egan, then got sidetracked on subs. Yeah. What a guy. What a player. That's what he does.
Well, very important. He came in and did a really good job last year.
Fair. Egan. He's been due a goal.
It's nice to see one of our centre-backs score. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. No, of course, McLaughlin scored none, and Jones only scored 2. Hughes got 1, but he could get a few more. So, yeah, it's nice for Egan to get.
It took Greaves forever to get a goal.
It did.
McGuinness robbed one off him at Doncaster.
He did at Doncaster.
We said robbed one off him. McGuinness put the ball in the net. Off his back, but who cares?
Yeah, God. Yeah, John Egan, great strike. I
think it's good. It's good for him because we've all been sort of clamouring for a Jay to come back. I don't necessarily think the defensive issues are John Egan's fault, which is what it could look like when people are like, oh, we're missing a Jay or whatever. Egan was class. Like, he was probably our best player in the last 8 games of last season.
Best January signing.
Yeah. Which wasn't difficult because it was a very, very low threshold in those final 8 games. But he's a good seasoned championship player, and I think that whether Hughes is playing alongside him or Ajay, Hughes is going to learn a lot from him. And like we say, Egan's got that camaraderie with Lundstrom and McBurney. He knows their games and stuff anyway, and we can see that he can score goals and he can be a threat from set pieces. So I'm glad that he's got his first goal. And yeah, he's another leader on the pitch that we've desperately needed, because we did seem to fall a little bit flat. I think that second goal sort of knocked it out of us. And Egan's one of those who you can probably rely on to try and pick people back up again. And like we said, the subs injected maybe some much needed energy, but Egan's a good player, and we know he is. And the fact that he popped up, because he had a chance earlier in the game as well, didn't he? And it was just blocked. and he was fuming that he didn't get the obviously the goal then and got it then. But like we say, the poetic justice for the penalty decision last season was brilliant for him. So yeah, I'm real happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else on the Swansea game?
I mean,
Jurkiewicz. Oh, sorry, go on, Christian.
No, go on.
Well, Jurkiewicz said, and I'm surprised to hear this because they don't usually talk about this sort of thing if it's been a good game, but he said the referee was great. So that's nice. Of course,
if you ask Swansea fans, they'd say different.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Going on that like last season, swings and roundabouts. If Egan's going to get a handball given against him for it hit him in the face, then you can suffer in a slightly possibly biased towards against your team refereeing performance.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't see it though. I didn't see how the referee was biased to either side in that game.
No.
I just thought he was.
I thought he gave some soft fouls away, but I thought he did that in general rather than for one team over the other.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure about the 7 minutes added time. I think I get the point there, but I think in terms of giving fouls, I thought he had a really good game. I thought a lot of them that they were complaining about. I'm sat there watching it thinking, but he's fouled him. I can't understand why you're arguing against that. But maybe when you're mad, as we all do in fans in the stadium, sometimes we probably get a bit miffed at what is quite a clear foul as well.
I suppose when it's going your way, you don't notice it because it's not really affecting you.
Yeah.
No, I have to agree. I thought the referee had a great game. Just with respect to, I think from the Swansea perspective, they were just calling for everything, and I mean everything. Every little touch, every tap, every kind of, well, just everything.
Yeah, it was like Blackburn, but Blackburn got the free kick whenever it happened.
Exactly, yeah, that's the thing, and that was the difference within the game. That's why I'm saying the ref had a good game, because when it was a foul, he called it. When it wasn't a foul, but they were asking for it, he just let the play go on as he should have, and he wasn't kind of falling into that trap of players requesting extra stuff. And as Ian just put there, time wasters. Well, there's your 7 minutes, because that's what they were doing. They were wasting time. I mean, one of the throws. Well, that was it. I think they had a throw in, and I think it was about 70 to 80 seconds before they even did the throw in. They changed the thrower 3 times, and then they still stood there in the wrong spot, told to move. So if you're wondering where the extra 7 minutes came from, well, it was their own undoing, really, with respect to that.
It's nice always seeing when they had the time on, because I was worried for ages that when obviously they said we're going to, and they put the rule in saying, oh, we'll always give the time that should be given. And they did for a few weeks, and then they stopped doing it. And then they started doing it again at the start of this season again, I think.
See how long it lasts this time. And I've also noticed another one of the rules was 8 seconds. That was
when the keeper has the ball, yeah.
Yeah, Vigouroux wasn't allowed to bide his time and kill some clock.
Oh, he had such an annoyingly good game, Vigouroux.
He did.
Kill some clock.
Against us.
Kill some clocks. Can someone clip that, please? Joe.
Did I say kill some clocks and not
kill some clock? We don't condone the murder of clocks on this podcast, by the way.
No, let's make that absolutely clear.
I'm trying to think of a joke. Come back to me in a bit.
All right, time isn't a real construct, so you're not really killing anything.
Yeah.
That'll do as a joke. Well, shall we go into some news from the international break? I mean, we'll just launch into one thing. Martin's commented in here that we should have loaned Joseph out and kept Burstow. Well, Burstow scored 4 for Bolton already. Great.
Well, he won Player of the Month.
He did. He won Player of the Month for Bolton.
I thought he won it for the league. Injured
already, though. So,
and I disagreed. I kind of agreed at the start, because I think Burstow offers us more goal threat than Joseph does. But I think the whole point of a loan is so that the player goes there, plays at a level he's comfortable with, gets regular game time, and improves and comes back a better player. And we're going to get that from Burstow. Yeah, he's going there. He's playing through the middle, which is what we wanted to see last season. He's scoring goals. If he has a really good season with Bolton, he either comes back and we sell him for a decent fee, or we come back and we've got a player that's on the back of a really, really good season.
He's got good confidence and all that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, we saw Joseph after a year in the Championship, maybe. So, yeah, you see how.
It'd maybe been nice to loan Joseph out as well, and then maybe add Sellers Fleming or somebody like that as the third choice. But obviously, we didn't sign
So, yeah, you never know Joseph might go out on loan.
I'd rather Ty go out on loan than Joseph.
Yeah,
and it
you're quite right.
didn't happen because all those young lads need moves. But that's another thing with the academy that should have been done but wasn't.
Yeah, I was very surprised Vaughan didn't get a move. I think he needs to be playing regular somewhere.
Vaughan, he's done his shoulder now. He did his
Okay.
shoulder on international duty.
Oh, typical. I'm getting depressed again talking about these injuries.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ian's commenting in. Someone explain the £15 million injection. Imagine. Well, I can't explain it because I haven't got a clue what's going on. So
It basically just means we've got 15 million quid less debt.
The simple way of putting it is he's injected £15 million of his own money to cover the loan he put in on the club that the club then owed to him. So in other words, the club owes £15 million less to Adjun than it did.
So when the accounts come out for last season, and that'll be in the next couple of months,
they'll be severely out of date because of it.
Yeah. So whatever debt figure that is, knock 15 million.
15 off it, yeah.
Knock £15 million off it, and that is the true, more up to date figure.
It's a more accurate figure. Yeah.
It's a more accurate.
I wonder if the EFL have said to us that you've got like a £15 million windfall, or else you're going to be in breach of FFP. And he's gone, bugger it then.
It's
very strange timing to just be just after the transfer window. He's gone, right, 15 mil injection there.
He's not put any more money actually into the club though, has he? He's just put money into the club that's gone straight back out again.
Yeah,
so
covering the debt that was on the club.
So in terms of if you look at it as like your banking app on your phone, 15 mil's gone in and then 15 mil's gone straight back out. So it's not like we've benefited from it in a real terms, actual physical.
Say your bank account is £15 million in its overdraft.
Oh dear!
And it's put £15 million in, so now you're on zero.
Except we've still probably got about 30 mil of debt.
Yeah, we're minus 30.
The point is, we put the money in, but there's no technical change in how much the money club has.
Yes.
So is it a good thing?
It's not a good thing.
I think it is.
But it's probably not a good thing that it's had to have been done, but it's a good thing that it's been done given the situation.
Yeah, it's not a good thing that it's had to be done because of all the stuff that's happened this summer, but that's the fault of Adjun in the first place. But it's good. It's a good thing because he's willing to do it, to change and sort himself out.
What I was asking on Twitter when it happened was, what's the downside? To me, it looks like the downside is that is only a personal one to him, which is that he's had to pay £15 million of his own money. But the effect on the club, they're not, it's not a bad situation for the club, perhaps.
In a way, it's an interesting because it's technically money. It's technically money he's had set aside for a while. So it's almost not a massive hit on his current situation anyway, as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's as far as I'm going to go into that.
Well, I think that, Ian, I hope that's answered the question. I still don't understand because I thought we paid £1. We're not paid £1, but it's a pound share.
£1 share and paid 40.
What does that
mean?
So Adjun, made up a share that was worth £1 and bought it for £14 million, £15 million over value to inject that money into the club to cover a debt. So it's just a mechanism to
business loophole.
Yeah, it's a mechanism he's used, and the legal brains, the financial brains at the football club have used to get money into the club to pay off some of the money that we owe.
We have financial brains in this football club. What?
The brain team, of course we do.
Essentially, just the simplest terms, it's £15 million has gone in and has wiped out £15 million of debt that the club itself has. Essentially, that's it.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's nothing to worry about with this particular transaction at all. It's a good thing.
Other transactions?
That's a different story.
Cool. Well, shall we get into the transfer news? And I'm surprised that we still have transfer news to talk about, but we have arguably 3 bits of transfer news to talk about. We'll talk about the bit that is definitely associated with the club to start with. That's the signing of João Mendes, who's João Mendes. It's the son of Ronaldinho, who I think was. Did he play for Brazil and Barcelona?
Yeah,
I don't think he's very famous,
You
is
don't
he?
even remember him playing football, like you, Nathaniel.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I was being born, he was
Put it
playing at
this
the World
way,
Cup.
he was rather good.
Yes, PSG. Did he play in Turkey? Or am I making that up? Was it?
no, he never played in Turkey.
No Adjun link there. Then I'll
Played in prison, though.
It's with Adjun.
Yeah, he won the prison cup, didn't he? He actually did. I think
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, if it was prison versus prison or whatever, but he won something, as you would.
Yeah. So his son, João Mendes, although, as we were saying before the podcast, if he ever plays for us, we will, of course, just call him Ronaldinho. Come on.
Why? He's not Ronaldinho.
Who cares?
What
care.
I do like,
He
that's
probably
quite
does.
underrated,
To be fair,
is the club not mentioning Ronaldinho's name anywhere in the announcement. In the tweet, in the website article. I think that's really, really good to try and immediately distance himself from his dad. I think that's a nice little touch to make him his own person.
Until there's a picture of Ronaldinho and Adjun with a City scarf draped over them both next week on Instagram.
But while it's easy to go, it's Ronaldinho's son and all that, and just be reminded of his father. I think it is a good thing to keep him distant, keep the two people distant, to let him not have the pressure that he's going to inevitably have on him for that reason.
I think the thing to say is that if he wasn't Ronaldinho's son, given that he's come from Burnley, he's never played at any professional football, we wouldn't be talking about him. I don't necessarily think he's going to be, because he's in the EFL squad, but of course he is because he's under 21. Don't read into that. I wouldn't be expecting too much from him this season.
He's an under 21 guy.
Yeah.
He's on a 1-year contract with an extra year. He's 20 years old. He turns 21 in February. If he's crap, he'll be off come the end of May, which will happen with all 21s players who sign deals like that. There's just obviously a little bit more expectation from fans when you see that, Ronaldinho's his dad.
Yes, he obviously went to Burnley, didn't he, last season, and they released him after a year. So
yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Ultimately, it's a 21 signing and he's 20 years old. If he was going to be anywhere, I'd expect him to be somewhere by now and not playing for City's 21s when he's 20 years old. But we'll give him a go. Let's see.
And it gives us something to talk about on the podcast. So thank you.
I think a hint of this deal is Ronaldinho ringing Adjun up, because we know they're pals and he's been on Survivor and whatever, going, "Oi, Adjun, mate, my lad's just been released by Burnley and he wants to stay in England. What can you do for me?"
To be fair, I don't think, with the players we sign now and Adjun and the increased sort of media interest, Ronaldinho, Burnley, doesn't really mix, does it?
nor does Hull, to be fair.
No, but...
but at least we've had some Brazilian influence in the past with Giovanni, of course, the greatest Evandro.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine just for a second Ronaldinho driving into Bishop Burton College to watch an under-21s game, driving past all the sheep and the horses and stuff?
I can imagine Ronaldinho at Dortmund.
He's been in prison. That seems perfectly nice compared to where he has been before. Fair. But I can't picture Ronaldinho walking into the building at Bishop Burton next to the pitch and getting something from that vending machine. It's not someone I would expect to see there.
There was you put that Frankish comment up, whoever it was, about we have Saudi.
That's what I was shaking my head about.
That's an interesting one. Would morally, would we all be okay with Saudi?
Morally,
no.
But money.
Morally, absolutely not.
I couldn't give a toss if it's money.
But money.
I couldn't give a toss.
Well, two things. Ryan,
you have to wash the blood off all the money for a start.
Yeah, Ryan. To answer your question, would I humour Saudi money? Yes, obviously, yes. I wouldn't want them to buy the club, but I'll have the money. Thank you very much.
That is an interesting link though, because I went on Talksport Radio with the Bristol City pod the other week, and they were talking about potential takeover news for them and stuff, because they feel like their chairman cannot take them any further. He doesn't have the funds to do what he wants to do, but they've got a really complicated setup, whereas their owner owns quite a bit of like all the Bristol sports or something. It's like some multi-sport ownership thing. So in terms of takeover, it's really difficult, because they're not just taking over Bristol City. Yeah, they've got to take everything over. So it's whether or not they wanted to sort of inherit everything else as well, which probably would be unlikely. I don't know, unless he's looked at it and gone, yeah, they would make money as well. I mean, let's be honest, when Saudi's looking at something, they're thinking, right, what can I do with that? Is that going to bring me money in as well? So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on, because you feel like you'd see a few of these kind of rumours with us if Adjan was flaunting us on the market, and we've seen nothing, have we, about any potential takeover or even an investment of any kind. So I don't think Adjan is considering it.
Sorry, I'm saying that's another thing on the £15 million investment. Theoretically, should Adjan want to sell the club, it'll make it a lot easier for him to sort of sell it, because there's £15 million less for him to try and entice in.
Yeah, there's less debt for someone to take over, isn't there?
For a club, for an owner to take from it.
Yeah.
But on the Saudi money, absolutely not, because I could do another 50-something minutes on how much I hate sports washing. So
I want to hear from
I
Christian.
don't want that sort of thing.
Yes,
Sorry.
Christian, you've been quiet.
Saudi money, what are we saying? Where are you sitting? Which side of the fence are you on?
Why do you think I stayed quiet? Well, obviously, cash injection. No, that's the thing. The cash injection is like, yeah, look, it's lovely. You would always want a cash injection, but yeah, I couldn't do it. I don't think I could do it. But the money is obviously it's tempting, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing. If we were in debt, I wouldn't be as tempted for the dollar in my head. If the club was just all hunky dory, I wouldn't even entertain the idea. But because obviously where we're at this current moment in time,
because the finances are fucked, Chris is
yeah, because the finances are what they are now. It's kind of like you have to sit back and think.
You'd be never worried about money ever again.
You would never be worried.
Remembering that just because you've got Saudi money doesn't mean you're instantly going to succeed.
No, but it does mean you won't have a debt,
or even spend it because of PSR. Look at how teams like Newcastle have struggled to actually buy
players. But the chances of you still having a football club in 5 years' time is very, 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 very high.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I'm entertaining it, gents.
Yeah, you're never ever going to be worried about sort of like the current situation. We'd never be in this situation, would we?
Well,
because the actual money that we were spending, there would be no cash flow issues. But I think it comes down to, would every single Saudi investment be bad? Like, say, obviously, so if the public investment fund, probably, because that's just
the arm.
What if it's someone who's invested and they've made all their money from sports, from legitimate means? Does it change their will, or?
Of course, Adjan's from a country that's not exactly progressive at the moment, right? We don't really have any more objections to
when
him.
When people say Saudi money, they're not meaning a businessman. They're not meaning that. They are meaning the PIF, essentially. They're meaning the
Saudi royal family.
Yeah, they're essentially mean. And for the record, if you went into that, that means we'll be in a multi-club ownership as well. Which fuck that as well.
But surely every single Saudi businessman from Saudi is not public investment fund. It can't be.
No, but they're probably not the ones who have the money or want to buy a club.
People are referencing and not going on about, is it? When you say Saudi money, you're probably not on about that. You're on about
because they're not buying clubs at the moment and spending money.
You're on about.
To be fair, I've not looked into the guy that's rumored to be getting to Bristol City, so I don't even know what he's about. To be fair, but
Turkey Al Sheikh, I know he has something to do with the PIF, I think, but I don't think directly. I know he has money in.
Oh, they'll all have connections, but
he has connections to TKO, who own the UFC and like wrestling and all them sort of things as well. So he has a lot of money on the plate there. UFC's obviously a big money maker. I'm not sure exactly what he has fully.
Anyway, we'll mention multi-club ownerships there, and Oscar Zambrano's coming to Hull
Leads us
City.
on very
Very good, Joe. Very good.
Yeah, you kind of brought that.
I forgot we already were in a multi-club ownership for a second there.
Yeah.
Well, it went under the radar. It never really got announced, did it? Because I guess it wouldn't.
Well, it did by Maribor.
Yeah. But
And we
Maribor
did
aren't
something
even
nice for
verified
Sean.
on
We did
Twitter.
a
They're
nice-
not even verified. Sorry, go on, Joe.
We did a nice little like tribute to Shelburne, didn't we? When Adjan bought them, we did a nice little website article about them becoming our sister club or whatever it
And
was.
that lasted about, what, 4 months?
3 days, yeah.
Yeah, because Adjan
2
wanted to shop the
seconds.
manager, didn't he? And they didn't want him to go.
And
So-
it turned out they were right because then they won the league.
I laughed when I saw Zambrano signed a deal.
4-year deal at
Like,
Maribor.
oh yeah, 4
Wow.
years, but he's not going to be there for 4 years, is he?
I know you're mentioning that he's there. Are you not going to mention the fact that Seri's there?
Well,
Tete
they're
is
training.
there.
He's trying to.
Well, the
they're
Tete
training.
one, Tete's not signing for us again, but they clearly signed him because Adjan knows of him. And
Likes
plus,
him.
of course, there was a
Yeah,
rumour
I
that
liked him even though his record wasn't great.
Tete had some dodginess about him
No,
as well, right?
sign Tete just to have him and McBurney react to each other again.
Ah, dear. I mean, Tete Ajayi crooks a Jabi from a corner. Oh, that'd be fun.
Even though, like you said, Tetty's there and I think Seri's there, I think they're not coming back.
No. The
Zambrano's the interesting one.
Zambrano and Luis Fernando Carrera, who was linked and was on trial with the 21s during pre-season. They're the ones to keep an eye out from there. And I'm surprised we didn't try and sanction Laloui there once that deal fell apart. But
Yeah, I'm very surprised that that's fallen apart in the end, to be quite
But-
honest. I thought they tried to find a way around it.
But Vestalo are owned by another Turkish businessman. So something I
And
think...
we were trying to sign Matthias Friggin from Westerlo earlier in the summer.
Yeah.
So there was clearly
Even
conversation
when-
between the two clubs at some point there.
Stuff
You-
will happen
yeah.
there, for sure.
Have we
Even
mentioned the fact that Friggin went to Parma and in the first week he tore his ACL?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Good job we missed on that one, didn't it?
Football god smiling.
But it's just one of those. You can't really say it was going to happen. Or
It had happened earlier, yeah.
You're right. You know what, Will? Yeah,
On the
I
plane.
agree. Right. On the
Would
plane.
have tripped over on the plane.
He's holding the shirt up and his shoulder goes.
To be fair, multi-club ownership thing, like there's a lot of. I think if you're the feeder club, it's not great because you just know that you're signing these players in order for them to move on, and you're just the stepping stone in that process to make it easier. But in our respect in this situation, it's probably good for us because, like I said,
Still
yeah,
not.
no, it's still dodgy. But look,
It's dodgy
what
as all
situation
hell.
are we in? Like we've got to a point where he obviously really wants Oscar Zambrano here, right? So we can't sign him because of the current situation. So second best, right? We'll go chuck him over to Maribor then, and then we'll sort it out.
And then
when
next summer when we can sign someone.
Yeah.
That
So
way,
it
Adjan still
benefits
gets
us.
the deal.
It's dodgy, but it benefits us.
Adjan still gets the good deal he agreed with LDU Quito about, like with regard to Zambrano having stuck by the club and him still being banned, and then for whatever money we've got floating about and that Maribor need or whatever, Adjan can just negotiate with himself, which I don't think. I mean, our history with transfers under Adjan isn't great, but surely he doesn't mess that one up.
I want to
Call him
see.
out
I
in
want
his
to
own
see that.
meeting.
I want to see him like saying something across the table, running to the other side of the table, saying it back across the table.
Jared Dublin's there on behalf of Hull City. Adjan's there on behalf of Maribor.
What if is this allowed? So can say for example, we desperately need money, yeah. Can Maribor sign Charlie Hughes for 20 mil and just loan him to us for 2 years? Can you do that? Is that allowed?
I get the feeling.
Yes.
I get the feeling the EFL will look at that and think, you're pushing your luck
But
a
they're
bit
two
there.
separate businesses. They're two separate teams.
Yeah, but they know that they know that they have the same owner, surely.
Chelsea and Strasbourg, right? This links to
I was going to
Swansea
bring up
as well.
Strasbourg, actually.
This links to the Swansea game as well. Ishe Samuel-Smith, who's joined them on loan from Chelsea on like deadline day, he joined Chelsea in 2023, left them in July 2025 to go and sign for Strasbourg on a permanent deal. On the 2nd of September, he went back to Chelsea and then got loaned out to Swansea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, that's because Strasbourg are a part of the Blue Coat group, aren't they? They're one of Todd Boehly's many clubs, and it's someone who is sent. I mean, this summer they've had a massive turnover of Strasbourg in players. And I know that there's another Strasbourg player who apparently is going to Chelsea next summer.
Omega.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Yeah. Enthiso. Yep.
There's someone else as well. There's a Dutch striker as well who's
Omega.
That's it.
Yep.
Football Manager plays. He's a baller.
There's a clear. Oh, they're at Chelsea. We'll send them to Strasbourg. And
they've loaned Sarr back to Strasbourg again. They've loaned Mike Penders to Strasbourg. They've sold Ben Chilwell to Strasbourg. So, and they've done the whole thing with Enthiso and Omega, like we've already discussed. So these sorts of deals do happen. It just depends how you can cover them up.
Yeah. There's probably good examples and bad examples you can find from multi-club ownership as well. I mean,
there's loads.
Of
course, Palace
probably not great, but then you've got
year.
like Man City have got sort of quite a few as well, and they've got like New York City and all them kind of things. Obviously, Red Bull have got quite a few. Yeah, Marinakis with Forest. So I feel like it is if the EFL were genuinely concerned about this kind of structure, something would have been done by now.
Well, no, we're not the only club that have multi-club in this league, I don't think.
No, well, we probably won't be.
Because I can't think of. I think of Man City doing it because they have enough money to buy other clubs, but I can't really think of Championship clubs doing it. I'm surprised I didn't think of this Zambrano going to Maribor, but as soon as I saw it happen, I thought, well, he's signed for Maribor.
Give it 2 or 3 years. Cynic will be there. Pelkas will be there.
Cynic.
Oh, we haven't mentioned him. Amr, he hasn't got a goal or an assist in 30 league games now.
We've ruined him, haven't we?
Yeah. Again, 50% of nothing is nothing.
We're not getting that 2 million back.
I'm sorry for interrupting again, but I'm just looking. And Barnsley are part of a multi-club ownership.
Barnsley's owners are minted, are they?
Who do they own?
So. Obviously, last season we had Leeds in this league. Obviously, Leeds are part of the Red Bull group. They're one of them.
Leeds have not done very well this summer either, so maybe not a good advertisement for it. They've been very, very poor recruitment.
I wonder how Leeds negotiating with Leipzig will go after the Jean-Kevin Augustin fiasco.
That's true. I forgot about that.
But at Red Bull only, I don't think Red Bull are only minority, are they?
Yeah, they're only minority.
Yeah.
Yes, the owner of Leeds United, San Francisco 49ers, yeah.
Otherwise, they would be Red Bull Leeds, wouldn't they?
Probably.
I don't know. No, I don't think they would because I don't think you'd be able to get away with that in English football.
No. If Red Bull were majority, it'd happen. There's every other single team that they're involved in is Red Bull, whatever.
Not Paris FC.
Not Paris. The fans won't be happy about it, but they would get it done.
Well, Paris, fair enough. Red Bull Paris.
Red Bull Paris.
Yeah, I think they have another team that isn't Red Bull technically as well.
Salzburg, Leipzig.
Well, Leipzig is easy to do because Leipzig wasn't a club.
Leipzig is Rasenballsport.
Technically Rasenballsport because of the 50. Something to do with the ownership in Germany. They can't legally cannot call themselves Red Bull.
But yeah, if it benefits us, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to it. Like we need a period of we just need to get to the Prem quick, get the money, sort stuff. So if the multi-club thing benefits the short term, I'm fine.
I'm going to talk about feeder clubs.
I'm still saying for multi-club ownership, it's just while it's nice to have these like, oh look, we can get Zambrano back. It's great, but I just don't like it from a moral perspective.
Yeah, no, it sucks, but it's unfortunately part of the game. There's a lot of teams that do it.
It shouldn't be though.
No, it shouldn't be. But if it genuinely was a problem, then the governing bodies of around the world would have stopped it.
But it's
why
it's a
it's
problem,
why
though,
there's an
isn't it?
independent football regulator currently starting up in the country to stop
Yeah,
this
it might
sort of
change
shit
in a few years.
continuing.
Like, look at Crystal
Oh, yeah,
Palace.
what's that?
Clearly, it is a problem. But if you cover it up enough, then you get around it. Because Marinakas put Forest into a blind trust. So if you're sneaky enough, you'll get away with it.
He exploited a loophole, essentially.
Yeah. I think that's just about everything covered, isn't it, gents?
Probably.
Or we can do our quick score predictions for Southampton. And I watched the game against Portsmouth today. They
Would
don't
we make
look
any
as strong
team
as-
changes for Southampton as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Destin to start? No.
Who?
I'll put
Yeah.
Ndala on
Burning,
the left instead of Joseph.
Yes, I bring him down for Joseph. That's the one.
I like Ndala. I think they didn't play him because it's tough because I think Jose gives you a bit more defensive support for Giles than Ndala does, but Ndala gives you so much on the ball. I love watching him play.
And we're going to be at home against a team that's not going to sit back. They're going to push forward themselves.
And they're not playing that well at the minute. Southampton. They're in a very, very vulnerable. Yeah, they're in a vulnerable place at the minute. Southampton. They're not playing great. The fans are not happy. The manager's under a little bit of stick. It's a good opportunity to kind of pile that pressure on a bit more, I think.
Yeah, I won't start Balumi just yet.
I would
Not just yet. I'd give it another game or two.
I would, even if you only take him off after 50, 55 an hour if you have to. But you want to start on the front foot, don't you? And I think Akintola had a good game against Bristol City, but I thought he was quite poor against Swansea. He struggled to retain the ball. And that.
It was his touch, yeah. His touch was.
Yeah, I like him, but yeah, probably the two I'd do is Ndala and Balumi probably coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Bloomy probably coming on at halftime as a sub, which you would like to see as a kind of a positive impact change, I guess, on the starting of the second half. I think that's some of that we kind of need to bring into.
Bring
I wouldn't.
on.
No, you're right. I wouldn't be surprised though if Joe Gelhardt has a rest and he brings in Palmer. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that's what I would do, but I wouldn't be surprised at that change.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Palmer had a decent national break, to be fair to him.
He did.
He scored against Brentford.
Yeah, but that's maybe a reason not to start him then, because Palmer usually plays good then bad. So if he's had a good game for Jamaica, then we need to give him a game off.
True, but did he score in the first or the second game in the international break?
I don't know.
It's what Black's made that Steve McLaren is Jamaican manager.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting to watch that trip.
Throws me off.
Yeah, will Miller be on the bench? Actually, that's a good question.
I think Miller could be on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
an
smash out. I
interesting
think
one.
he could be.
I mean, obviously, I'm expecting Destin to make an appearance again. I wouldn't see him starting.
Destin will come off the bench, I think, again.
Yeah.
What we said about the midfield.
Well, this is it, especially with Lundstrom's form.
It'll be Lundstrom, Hadjiahmetovic, or Giabi, I think. I don't see him dropping Lundstrom.
How did you rate Giabi? Sorry, because I didn't really.
I thought he looked good. I thought he looked tidy.
He didn't have a lot to do, did he? It was
He
late.
didn't do loads, to be fair, but he didn't have much to do in the first place. So
I think he just. I don't know. It looked like he needs to still get used to how we're playing.
Well,
obviously,
that's
still,
fair.
which is fair enough. Yeah, exactly. I just feel like he's going to take a bit longer before we even see him starting. I do see him coming on as a sub. I don't see him starting for at least a good few months. But I understand why he's in the squad because he just looks like a tank. He really does look strong, doesn't he? From that perspective. So I wouldn't be surprised on that. But I think the main change I think we all can agree on is the left wing would have to be the one that gets changed up.
Yeah.
From that one. Whilst everything else, you wouldn't really complain at the rest of them starting as we did against Swansea.
Is there a chance he brings Slater in?
Oh, there's always a chance he
I
brings
wouldn't,
Slater
for the pure reasoning being, he looked good off the bench. I'd do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Slater is looking better off the bench.
Because he brings
Just a bit more pace.
Yeah,
a bit more pace.
Always better off the bench.
Yeah. I think Slater off the bench is the new kind of when we're starting to slow down situation.
Yeah, the energy he brings, the way
the energy he brings on. I think
brings
when
him
we
on, run himself into the ground for 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He does run himself into ground instantly, and I think when we do start him after that 20 minutes, he's a bit all over. He starts looking a bit like Ryan Woods, still doing all the running, but positionally he's just
Woodsy didn't
right.
move.
Ryan Woods didn't run.
Well, all right.
You think more of Greg Doherty than a Ryan Woods there?
Yeah, well,
Bad
yeah,
Greg
okay, yeah,
Doherty.
all right, yeah. Well, running in the wrong directions anyway. It was positional sense wise. He just kind of loses his sense of location on the pitch after a bit of time at the moment with Slater. But yeah, I agree. Coming on as a cameo, Slater is definitely the best way going forward to keep the kind of everything going forward. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement. Left wing's the one that should change. And hopefully we don't regret it, because obviously we want to see Giles still bombing forward, producing those crosses into the box like he did on Saturday, because they were the things that were obviously working for us, and I can see it working for us throughout the season.
Yeah.
Okay, well, score predictions, everyone. I'll go to you, Will, because you'll have your stupid one. Sorry, Will.
Excuse me.
Go on.
What
go
did I
on.
predict last week? Because it won 3-0 City.
Was it?
No.
It was 2-2 Swansea, wasn't it? And you said Egan will score.
Swansea.
Oh,
2 Swansea.
at Swansea.
Did Swansea win 2-2, Nathaniel?
Did we predictions for Swansea, did we? Because we didn't do an episode last week.
No. But I'm not doing the 3-0 thing anymore, am I, sir? I've got to, because I'm not going to be negative. I'll predict 2-1 City.
Joe?
Destin will both.
1-1, that'll do me.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll have a point out of this game. I'll be very happy with a point. I think it's a good time to play Southampton to get that point as well.
Yeah. Christian?
I'm going to go positive. 2-1. Yep, I'm going 2-1.
That's the fourth 2-1. We've had 3 in the comments and 1 from yourself. That seems to be a popular score.
It's because it's the most common score in general, isn't it?
Well, I would love to say 2-0, but I just know we're going to concede one. So
that was my logic
issue.
as well. I wanted to say 2-0 as well.
I mean, that's why I was almost tempted for 2-2, but I'm really positive with our attacking sense, and with, like Jojo said, Southampton at the moment, even though they're just, I played.
They're a good squad, but they're just not in good form.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. So I do feel like we'll pip it, and with how we are scoring goals at the moment, which is crazy to say. Unfortunately, defensively, we're just lacking. I'm expecting to concede one, and we're going to score more than they do.
Yeah, that's a fair prediction. And I mean, what Ian said 0-0 here. I don't see that happening.
Why
Not under
not?
Jurkiewicz, not again.
I'm going for. We are going to keep a clean sheet, and it's going to be a tetchy 1-0.
Wow.
Proper prime Sayers ball.
Coventry this game.
Yeah.
But just talking to a Southampton fan who wants me on their channel coming up soon, they don't have many goal scorers. They're not happy with what they did in summer in terms of recruiting people. They're not happy
they drew
with the
0-0
squad.
today, didn't they?
Yeah, they drew 0-0 again today against, obviously in the derby. I think that they're there for the taking, and with us being at home, I think Jurkiewicz obviously he's not won now in 3 games. He's going to be really wanting to do. He'll probably be working on it and training really hard this week to get us on the front foot quite quickly and try and put probably the game to bed as quickly as possible. So I just don't see. I'm confident that we can finally stop the leaking. That's got to stop. So yeah, 1-0 City. Why not?
Okay. I'm going to go 7-5 to Southampton.
Oh, spirit of the game.
Yeah. I should do the 1-1 bot to Will, right? 1-1 bot.
To be fair, our friends on the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast, their predictions league they do. 1-1 is its own thing. Like you're not allowed to predict 1-1. That's
the Tifo football podcast.
Second. It happens quite often.
Yeah.
I need to do that league table. I said I was going to do one. We'll start from this week, eh?
Yeah, we could do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll go back and find out what we predicted before this week.
Yeah,
maybe I
Kevin
should
will come in and
rethink
I'll-
7-5 then. It's going to be an open game. I'm going to go 7-5 Southampton. Yeah.
Ajin would love that.
Well,
Yeah,
he would. Well,
yeah, he would love that.
Exactly what he
Put in the
wanted this
director's
whole
box.
time.
if Adrian wants entertaining football, why doesn't he just, watch football on TV? Why does he have to buy a club?
Why doesn't he just play FIFA?
Yeah. Yeah.
Put
quite
on
right.
amateur difficulty and just
That's not
change all the
entertainment,
sliders
that's
so you just smash it even 50 yards.
torture.
Yeah, sorry, Phil. My cat's starting to shout. So, yeah, we'll wrap this up. Well, thanks, everyone, for commenting in and liking, subscribing, retweeting, reposting. We're not on Instagram. Is that Threads? We should get on
We are.
Threads, maybe.
Get on
on
Truth
everything.
Social.
No.
We're not
No,
on Fred-
I'm
we are.
joking there for the record.
No.
No.
let's not do that.
Yeah,
let's
let's not.
do that. But yeah, Will, Joe, and Christian, thanks very much for joining me. Thanks for everyone who's been commenting in as well. And we'll be back after the 12-goal thriller against Southampton next week. And then, yeah, that'll
If
be
we finish with
miserable
7-5,
podcast.
you'll have another club statement saying Ajin put another 10 million.
Imagine if it's like 6-all, so it's still a 12-goal thriller.
Oh, but Nathaniel's got it wrong.
Well, I'd still take that as a moral victory. So, for being close in the spirit of the results.
That's the spirit of the game.
I look forward to that. But yeah, we've been the To Hell and Back podcast, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Like and subscribe, follow, goodbye.